Hello everyone, I'm Alex, the Hylian Gamer, and welcome to a new set of Smash highlights. Without further ado, let's talk about the next battles. This is round 1 of Mitra and Pyra versus Ganondorf. Now, in this case, I want to make this commentary based on the observations that I can make during the fight. Okay, so in the first round, I had a trilogy of fights against this person called Queen, or well, this user called Queen. I don't know if they are a man or a woman, so I'm going to use gender neutral naming conventions. Okay, so the first mistake that I observed that he made during this fight is that he tried to choke me very close to the edge. And Ganondorf is a character that it is very overpowering. Okay, it is very satisfying to use when used correctly to overpower your opponents. And the key strategy that you need to have, especially when fighting a Ganondorf main, is try to outspeed him or maybe even try to overpower them. A character with a good counter could be very helpful in a fight against Ganondorf. So, in this case, a few of the things that I would like to observe about this fight is that Ganondorf, generally because of his massive weight, is very difficult to control in the air, and makes it very difficult for you to recover when you try to go back to the ledge or to the platform. Okay, now about Pyra and Mythra, which are my main fighters today. Well, Pyra and Mythra is a duality very similar to Sheik and Zelda in the first three games of Smash Bros. Pyra Pyra is the executioner. What do I mean by that? She's the one that hits hard, is the heavier of the two, and usually you want to use her to finish off your enemies. But Mitra, on the other hand, I believe she is the Punisher. You can rack up the damage very fast with her, and she has a pseudo counter strategy with her foresight ability when you dodge a little bit more, well, a little early, or well, just as you are getting attacked, and it will allow you to counter attack without actually hit with more control. Now, a good interesting strategy with Ganondorf is that you need to know how to overpower your opponents, because Ganondorf usually has a good resistance, has super armor to blows. Now, in the second fight against the user Queen, okay, so I decided to start by applying pressure to him, try to overpower him with my speed, and in this case, I think the strategy had some mixed results. As you can see, I started very strong, but he started to take advantage of Ganondorf's weight. Or, well, they started to take advantage of Ganondorf's weight correctly and try to mobilize a little bit more. I think I may have fallen into overconfidence because of my previous round against them. So, in this case, well, what else can we say about this battle? Okay, as you can see, it got to a deathlock with the forward smashes at this point. And then he decided to choke me. Like I said, I don't understand why he kept doing the down smash. Generally, the down smashes in characters is a good way of covering when your opponent is dodging to the sides, and it is a good way to give damage to them, even launch them out of the platform, especially if they are trying to dodge to the other side of you instead of dodging away from you. Okay, so we are one stock. We have one stock down for Queen, and now he got me down one stock. Okay, so whenever I pause, it's just to take a little moment to breathe and to try to reorganize my strategy. As you could see, that didn't work. He really started to overpower me in this fight, and I must admit that it was a really good fight by Queen. Okay, so then I decided to do a final smash to try to launch him out of the platform. Launch them out of the platform. Sorry. Again, I'm not sure if it is a guy or a woman. Well, in this case, he has started to play more intelligently. I must admit, I want to give them kudos for fighting very brilliantly in this round of the fight. And sadly, because the because of the fact that Pyra doesn't have a good horizontal recovery move, well, I ended up losing this round. So congratulations, well played, Queen. Very good fight. GG. Round 3 against Queen, the Ganondorf. So I believe that in this round of the fight, well, they played really well. Sorry, it's because of Ganondorf. They played really well. So I was trying really hard to start applying some pressure and take advantage, maneuver a little bit more defensively instead of fighting more aggressively, and try to play a little bit more more clever. Okay, I try to be a little bit more clever with my strategies, but in the end, I think it had very mixed results. I tried to exploit Mythra's speed, but they started to overpower me very easily, and he launched me. And if you remember, at the end of the second fight, I had problems recovering with Mythra. I didn't think at that moment I would require Pyra. I didn't think in that moment that I would need Mythra to recover, and then I decided to switch back again to Mythra and decided to launch him with my Photon Edge. Okay. Now, in this case, he has started to overpower me, and because I was very close to the edge, I was in a very serious danger if I hadn't had that low percentage of damage. In fact, I think I didn't take damage before his final smash. But Ganondorf's final smash has the potential of launching you horizontally very far away, especially if you have high values of damages. Generally, when you are in the 34-40% of damage, ranging to the 60s, final smashes are very good to launch off your opponents and destroy them. Okay, now in this case, he has started to fight with more intelligence. He has started to outsmart me, and I was starting to get a little desperate. I'm not going to lie. I connected a few good hits, and it was a very tense fight, especially at the end. But as you could see, he has started to launch me very far, and I didn't have the opportunity to recover because in that moment, in that little moment of panic, I didn't think of switching back to Mythra. So without any way to recover, they ended up winning the fight. Now, uh, as a personal rule, I decided that I will not feature anyone more than 3 times in a fight unless they are a special guest in the channel. So in this case, Queen, I believe you fought a very good fight, and I must congratulate you. You were the better of the two of us. So very good job, man or woman. I don't know, dude. All right. Now we are going to start two battles against the fighter called Kazuya Mishima and the player called Buddha. So I must say, first of all, that Buddha was a very honorable fighter. You will see why in a little moment during the first fight. So, without further ado, let's comment on this fight. Okay, so Kazuya Mishima was added as a DLC fighter from the Tekken series, and it is very difficult to control because he comes from an original fighting game, and Sakurai decided to make this fighter, well, very intuitive to the controls of a typical fighter game, especially those made by Namco, which have a little bit more complex controls. Now, in this case, I lost my life because I had a little malfunction of my GameCube controller. I don't know what happened there, to be honest with you. And Buddha decided to fight fair and sacrifice one of his lives in order to give me a fair fighting chance. Now, this 10 hit combo by Kazuya is very powerful because it can stun lock you very easily, and my confidence was a little shaken after the trilogy of fights against Queen. So so I decided to start to well, I was starting to panic a little bit, and Buddha was giving a tremendous fight actually. Okay, so once again he started to knock me out with his 10 hit combo, and I didn't know exactly what to do in this moment in time. I luckily started to dodge his attacks and decided to fight a little bit more defensively, a little bit more conservatively, and try to take advantage of dodging and parrying and maybe even a little distraction moments like that, because when you do that drop kick with Kazuya becomes very vulnerable to attacks from behind, especially if you dodge successfully. Okay, now in here I took a little bit of advantage of the Mitra part and decided to take a little bit more of advantage of her speed to punish Kazuya a little bit more. Okay, I am not an expert on Kazuya, and because of the novelty of the character, he was the second last character to be added, and Sora hasn't come out by the time I'm making this recording. So, Buddha, buddy, good fight. That was a really good fight, and you fought honorably. Very cool of you. Thank you so much. So let's start with round 2 of the fight against Kazuya Buddha. Okay. So in the second round, after that momentous victory where I came from behind, I started to gain a little bit more of confidence, and it shows a little bit more in my fight against this in this round against Buddha. So I decided to take a little bit of advantage of Mitra's speed again and try to edge guard him as much as I could. I am not an expert Smash player, so Smash guarding is not my strong suit yet. One of the most common techniques that I have is especially with fighters that have a counter. But in this case, Pyra and Mythra don't have a counter like that. So I needed to think a little bit more creatively in order to edge guard Buddha and prevent him from returning to the platform. Again, I said him, right? Okay, because I'm not sure about the person fighting me on the other side of the internet. Maybe I should stick to to gender neutral pronouns, unless I know it's a masculine name. Now, one amazing fact about Kazuya is that as a fighter from the Tekken series, his backstory is a little, it's quite interesting because he he is the heir of the Mishima family, and his father Heihachi Mishima is an old man obsessed with power and being powerful. So he married a woman with the devil gene. Also, I don't know how the hell that connected. I must admit, I think that was a little bit of bullshit. But hey, when bullshit favors you, don't question it. As I was saying, Kazuya's backstory goes to the Devil Gene. So, because his father thought that he was a weakling, he decided to beat up his son and throw him inside the crater of a volcano which made Kazuya awaken his demonic powers, I think. So Kazuya then started to fight in the Tekken tournaments organized by his father in order to take revenge, and he in the end, he had his revenge and threw his father into the same volcano that he threw him, which was a little bit referenced in his introduction trailer, in which he threw characters like, I believe, Ganondorf, Mark, even Kirby got thrown into the volcano by Kazuya. And then he became sort of like like an antagonist of the series Tekken. So, in this case, I believe that he has started to give me a good fight, and well, it was an interest, but it was only a matter of time before I could knock him out. I was starting to feel the pressure, not going to lie, but in the end, I think I caught him off guard and decided to counter. Well, and I got him to drop his guard a little bit and destroyed him with a smash attack, with a forward smash attack from behind. So, Buddha, buddy, again, thank you so much. It was a very good battle. Kudos to you. You're a very strong fighter, and you use a very difficult character to control. So, very good, man. Or woman. I don't know. Dude, sorry. So, the final fight was against Jorgito. And in this case, I think that Jorgito may have been possibly a newbie to the Smash Bros. Series. I think that personally, I this was not a great battle, but because he made very well a lot of mistakes with his character, and as I said, Ganondorf is a character that you want to use to overpower the others, and because he has a very limited movement, you need to make every movement count. In this case, as you could see, Ganondorf decided to do his drop kick to move to try to land again in the platform, but in the end, he didn't stick the landing. He he plummeted straight up to his death. And that is a very common mistake that a lot of Ganondorf beginners do. It it's because Ganondorf started originally as a more powerful but slower and tankier clone of Captain Falcon in the Smash Bros. Melee. And because he had the exact same movement as Captain Falcon, people thought he was very clumsy to use, and not many people that I know prefer to use, well, like to use him in a Smash Brothers Melee. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, then give a commentary in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Alex, the Hylian Gamer. Goodbye.